That was a big one.
That was
that was the earthquake. Right there.
Oh, well. So I'm a little bit maybe under the weather. My nose is running. I don't know why. Like my nose, my throat, my nose throat that I normally put right here is running. So we got a little bit of a different one today.
He's got McDonald's.
Let's start the show. All right. So we are reviewing The Karate Kid because today is
January 2nd, and it's
I was hoping you'd
it's National Personal Trainer Awareness Day.
National Personal Trainer Awareness Day. As you know, we are going 365 and 365. We're doing 365 reviews in 365 days. Yep. At least we're going to attempt to do that.
We're going to try. Yes.
For January 2019. So you may you may have some 2 in a day, 3 in a day. You may not have one for 3 days and 4 in a day. Our goal is to try to do one every day, get one out every day, obviously. But so we're gonna try to stick to some themes, whether it's whatever the day is. We'll do something to represent that day or that holiday,
or if it's like a birthday of somebody's. Yeah.
And we're also decided we're gonna start doing some watch some like original documentaries, original Netflix originals, and Amazon Prime originals. We got some, so we'll talk more about that later. But some of those coming up that we're gonna watch too. So, anyways, 365 reviews in 365 days is our goal, and this one is The Karate Kid because
Karate Kid 1.
The Karate Kid 1, the first one. Since it's National Trainer Awareness Day.
Personal Trainer Awareness Day.
You should all be aware of your personal trainer today.
Yes, today, acknowledge your personal trainer.
If you haven't given them the gift, what are you waiting for?
Acknowledge them, and then get on with your workout.
And hopefully you're enjoying our green screen that's much bigger now, and
yes.
Our green screen table here, so things probably look a little weird. But
yeah,
hey, that's cool.
This is probably like our computers are floating.
Yeah, you never know what we're gonna do. We might dress up.
My drink is floating.
My drink is floating.
Look at that. There's nothing under here. It's see-through. Pretty crazy.
Except for the microphones.
They're floating.
That probably sounded all evil.
Weird.
Hey, how you doing? She hates when I do that voice.
That deep voice.
It's Barry White, baby. How you doing? Can't get enough of your love.
It hits my ear in a way that I just can't even.
This is our movie review. This is our whole movie review. Is just us.
We mentioned the movie and then we're done.
So we're gonna review Karate Kid. We're gonna take 10 minutes.
We watched it
and talk about a bunch of dumb stuff. Sorry, I'll have to cut that out.
Yes.
And we're back. Sorry, I said something a little bit inappropriate. And I wanted to cut out because we're not trying to say stuff like that. So, anyways.
Yes. So as you can see, our setup is slightly different. We're a little bit farther apart. We have the green screen.
A little more room to see things. So
put our arms on the table.
Yeah, which is nice. Kind of because we've got a new table, a little bit wider.
Yeah.
So and you know, we're not always shooting things in order 100% of the time. So if like you're watching a video where you're like, why are they talking about this? They already talked about this in the video we watched last week or something. That might happen sometimes every once in a while.
We're gonna try not to.
But we're gonna really try not to do that. But we're experimenting. What did I say? Butter and bread. Butter on toast. We're gonna get more lighting soon and experiment with things and just so hopefully the lighting gets better. Yeah, production gets better as time goes on. Yeah. We don't really have much money and it's not like we make money doing this. So
this is free for
hopefully
us.
One day we do, but it's free 50 free for you too. So
free for you, free 50 free for us.
Hopefully one day we do, but we enjoy doing it. So that's why we do it for fun. So but because we don't have money, we can't be. We got to take our time to get licensed and stuff like that. Anyways, back to the review. So The Karate Kid, which we were just talking about, was 1984. My gosh, how time goes by so quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you were born in 1932. So how old were you in '84?
I was 82.
No, but yeah, it feels like it's like about 20 years ago.
Yes.
And we were saying it's coming up on.
It didn't feel like it was that long. And like I was saying, I feel like I was close to being a teenager. Like at 13, I think I was like 12 or 13 when I watched the movie, and I feel like it was new at that time, but clearly not. I was much younger when it came out. And I mean, that could have been because they had Karate Kid 2 and 3, and then they had the next Karate Kid, and then they had Jaden.
The other little, that was way later, but Jaden redoing the Karate Kid,
doing that, and then now they have the Netflix special, the Cobra Kai,
which is more nowadays,
Yes, they're playing the same characters, but now
I only watched an episode or two. It was actually pretty funny, but I meant to watch more of it. Yeah,
but I don't know why I feel like it's gonna ruin Karate Kid for me.
Right? Yeah, the first one just takes away from it. Yeah.
It's just such a classic movie that I love, and I'm like.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that about because sometimes when you watch certain movies growing up, you feel like they came out right when you watched it. It's like Star Wars. Wars. I feel like Star Wars came out when I watched it, but it came out in 77.
Yeah.
That's when I was born in 77. You know, yeah, I'm old.
Oh, there you go.
So I felt like, oh, that came out when I was like, 7, 8, 9 years old or something. Whenever I got into Star Wars, and
it was
like, no, it was way before that already. So
yeah.
I think the same thing with Karate Kid. When you're younger, you kind of think everything was right then, but
yeah, definitely.
And not only that, things go by much quicker nowadays. Then a movie would come out, it'd take, however long, 6 months, a year or whatever to get on TV or HBO or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But once it was on there, it'd be on there forever. You know what I mean? Like, over, and they played over and over. So you'd see these movies a lot when you were a kid growing up,
I mean, how... it just makes me think, like, back in the day when DVDs were fairly new and how long it took a movie to come out on DVD. And now it's so much faster.
It's almost pointless.
Yeah,
because
like,
it goes to Netflix
or
whatever. Yeah, all these different streaming services that you can do. Yeah,
it.
Or a lot of times you could just stream it on the app of the the company or the whatever that made it, or the the station that broadcasted it.
Theaters are so expensive. Why go to a theater now unless you really want to experience that whole thing? And now I think they're more about IMAX stuff now.
Yeah, if it's like a crazy
3D, you can see it on
like when Avatar came out or something like that, it's like you kind of want to see it that way.
But now normal movies, it's like, why?
Yeah, and plus I think they thought 3D was going to take off more than it did. I think,
yeah.
And it just
3D TV.
And I kind of felt like, oh gosh, I'm getting old, because I felt like when it started really booming 3D for a while there, like I'm the old fogey because I didn't like it. I liked it here and there. And like you said, if you go to
we bought the TV, the 3D TV.
I know, but it messed with my eyes a lot, and it didn't seem to really. I don't know. You just get tired of it quickly. I like just watching it normal. Yeah. So
in the theater though, 3D was crazy.
It's so different. Yeah,
I did see Avatar in 3D.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And I didn't. Yeah.
And it was
amazing seeing stuff on the side coming out like that.
It's like you're just kind of go like this because things are like floating in your face, and you're like, go away. And it was cool. Like, he was at the beginning, he's floating in space, and he's right here. And
you're just like, you feel like probably a bunch of people are in there going like this.
Kind of up like, oh god, he's really close to my face. But yeah.
So anyways, this is our Karate Kid review.
So back to that. Maybe we should tell who the director and writer and...
Sure. Why don't you do that since you got the Wikipedia page open right now?
Yes.
Okay. It will kill. Anyone watch Forge and Fire? Or no. See, I did it wrong. I went like this. He doesn't do that though. He puts it up and goes like that. He puts his thing over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It will cut.
It will cut.
It will kill.
He's so excited about it.
It's a good show. If you haven't watched Forge and Fire, they make knives and forge. They forge fire. They forge things in fire. So it's cool.
Okay. So anyway, the director is John Avildsen. Avildsen. That's not a name I can pronounce. Anyway, the producer is Jerry Weintraub.
Weintraub? Yeah.
Traub?
He also, because he did some other movie too that was famous. I can't remember what.
I'm sure he did, yeah. He's a producer, so he probably did a lot.
And we got, of course, everyone knows Ralph Macchio playing.
Yes, Ralph Macchio was the main
character. Danielson.
Daniel LaRusso. Yeah.
And then Mr. Miyagi was Pat Morita.
Right,
who was a big-time gambler, liked to gamble a lot. For those who don't know, I don't know why I'm bringing up that fact, but he liked to gamble a lot. But and then of course Elizabeth Shue, who played like the girl, who I had a huge crush on when I was a kid.
And all the girls wanted to be.
Yeah. Well, my crush was from this movie and from Adventures of Babysitting, which we'll review eventually too, because I loved that movie when I was a kid. Some of those movies you watch now, you go, oh my god, what was I thinking? But
I did a research on that movie, and there's so many
you're like, oh my god,
it's so unrealistically bad.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
But it was so good when you're a kid. For a kid,
like teenagers running from gangsters.
Yeah,
it's like
I know.
From gang members.
It's so corny.
Come on.
But
and then it somehow turns out okay. It's like, okay.
But it's like I'll show it to Elias eventually when he gets a little bit older, and I'm sure
he'll be like, "This is lame."
No, well, if I wait too long, But if I show it to him young enough, he'll be just like I was when he watched it.
I don't think so.
Just like Karate Kid. I want to show him Karate Kid too.
Well,
I think he'll like Karate Kid too.
Because he's in karate.
Oh, he's in karate now. Yeah,
And
we're all like getting into an argument over here. Well, no, I don't think that. This is what I think about. Who cares about this stupid review? Let's get this figured out.
Sorry, having a conversation here. Personal.
Anyways, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
It's only dead silence. Here's where we go with this. It's just all. We both just look at the camera. All of a sudden, the video just shuts off. That's the end of the video. And then it goes to the next video. Hi, hey. So anyways, about last...
This is like you have a black eye.
About last weekend. I'm like wearing sunglasses and my things like this. I'm like super covered up. Like, so anyways.
Like coming down below, just below.
Just want to say my wife doesn't beat me. And yeah, our review this week's going to be... No, but
let's mention William Zabka was Johnny Lawrence.
Okay.
So he was the blonde.
Who is also in the latest one that they're doing now.
Yes.
Basically, so I'm sorry, we were back. Like I said, I'm a little stuffed up, so I have to blow my nose. I obviously don't want to do that on here.
So we're going to be cutting a
yeah, if there's any cut, if it seems like we're cutting scenes and everything, that's why. So I apologize. Where do we leave off?
So we were talking about Johnny Lawrence played William just kidding. William Zabka played Johnny Lawrence.
and they're both in the one that's being done now.
Yeah, he played the main villain in the first.
And this was such a great movie. I mean, when I was a kid, this was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I wouldn't still say it is now, but as a kid, this was one of my favorite movies. Of course, you feel like, man, if I could just learn that crane kick, I'll be able to beat up anybody at school.
And that kick was like incredibly lame compared to like some of the karate moves that could actually do.
I mean, if you were to get a real fight and went like this, dude,
like,
people would be like,
"We're gonna break your arms."
The guy would just come over and go like this to you, flick you. He's like, dude, clearly you don't know what you're doing because nobody would do a crane kick in real life, okay?
No. But I mean, I love that movie. And I wasn't even
into the whole having to hold your arms like a crane. You can't just kick or whatever. You got to like hold it like this.
I know it somehow gives you more wind resistance. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea.
The power you get the power from the thrust down, I guess, or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, is that an actual move? Because I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else.
We'll have to ask our kids teacher.
Kids teacher. Yeah, he'll be like. So yeah, I mean, like we said, it was made. Let's see. The movie was made in 83.
84.
Oh no, the film began in 83, sorry. It began October 31st.
It was released in 84.
And wrapped up in, dang, it was only like 2 months. It took them 2 months to make the film and they were done.
That's pretty good.
But I like this fact that we were talking about, how DC Comics has a character called Karate Kid, and that they had to release
they licensed it out to them to use it. They thanked them at the end of the movie and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, there were some cool little facts and stuff on our research we were doing. The main song that's in there, "You're the Best Around," that one was originally written for Rocky 3. We found out, and they decided not to go with it. And they said it went with "Eye of the Tiger," which come on.
That movie cannot exist.
Clearly was the right choice. I mean, they used the line in there. It's like, come on, rock, Eye of the Tiger. I mean, dude, that's like, if they did not go with that, that wouldn't have made any sense. But and then we were doing. Also found out that it was also written for Flashdance, and they instead went with "She's a Maniac on the Floor" instead.
Which also makes sense.
Which makes more sense. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then this one for this, "You're the Best." It makes the most sense for Karate Kid. So it all kind of worked out, really.
Yeah.
But it's funny how those things happen, like behind the scenes, like things weren't meant for this, that, and then you end up going different ways, and
that was really cool. How was that? Actually said that right there. It won. Let's see. It was nominated for a Golden Globe and an Academy Award. Pat Morita.
Now that you said it wrong, you messed it up. Now you messed me up. Now you said it wrong.
Sorry. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his, and I guess for the Golden Globe and an Academy Award. So, and then Best Family Motion Picture, it won, and the Best Young Supporting Actress was Elizabeth Shue. She won an award for this movie too.
So what was your favorite part in the movie? Do you have a favorite? Wax on, wax off. They were talking about the drunks. That was another thing we saw, the drunk scene where he was drunk. They didn't want to do it, but the director or writer, one director or something. I
think it was the writer. Someone
decided they really wanted to keep it in because it felt like it was part of the story and the rest of it didn't. But it's weird. To me, it did. It's weird how things connect to different people. For me, I'm getting personal here, but I had a dad who was an alcoholic and for a long time of his life, and it was weird. Like I had a kind of more of a connection with him because he was drunk.
Really?
I remember thinking not thinking like, hey, he's just like my dad. It wasn't like that much. You know what I mean? I wasn't like that, but I remember kind of feeling a connection to him a little bit, and maybe now I'm kind of looking back at it and realizing that's why it was or whatever. But I remember that scene thinking like, I remember that scene reminding me of my dad a little bit. You know what I mean? The way he was talking and stuff, and he had this like kind of like. It's kind of annoying the way he was being, but it was a sweetness, but like it's still sweet to him. Yeah, and so it reminded me of how drunks can be,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't personally like that scene because like how they did talk about how it kind of dragged the whole thing down. Yeah. It was a very boring.
And I'll bet you most people did feel that way.
Yeah,
like you did.
It was just a little long, and it seemed like it changed Mr. Miyagi in my eyes.
Ah.
It was more of like, I respected him.
Yeah.
He was like disciplined. He did the whole chopsticks things. I mean, he was like, he had a thing, and then all of a sudden he like had a moment where he was crazy drunk because of the anniversary he was going through. But it was like,
because as you get older, you kind of realize, okay, that's more realistic how life is. But when you're younger, you're more idealistic, and you're more like you want to look up to people, and you want to assume they're all good.
That's the thing is, like, I never gone through death when I was that age, so it was like I didn't understand that he was mourning the loss of his wife, and it was kind of like, okay, like, this is too sad for me. This is an entertaining movie, and that was too sad for me.
Well, so I guess a lot of those people were right. Yeah. So I get probably the director, whoever wanted to keep it, and he'd just probably something more like me, where he had something tied to his past that it connected with him for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, the writer, when you write something, you tend to pull from your own experiences, and more than likely, he probably had somebody who was mourning the loss of a loved one or whatever.
Yeah. Well, on that happy note,
what was your favorite scene, though?
Oh, did you go there? Did you say?
No, I can't think of it. So you do.
Oh, so you did just put it off on me?
You do.
Well, of course I'm sorry, guys. I'm like this. My voice is horrible. I'm sorry.
Don't be ever sorry. Don't ever be sorry.
Okay. Take it.
Just deal with his sickness.
Deal with it. Like it.
People get sick.
Take it and like it.
You better be happy he's doing a review of being sick.
Yeah. 353. I can't. I'm 353.
I just spit all over. I just spat all over.
I just spattled.
I just spat on our green screen.
Well, I guess it was, the kind of the wax on, wax off, paint the fence, all that. Because I remember when I first saw the movie, it was like, I remember kind of being like this annoyed, feeling like, why is he having him do all this? And kind of like the kids feeling of like, this is, he's using him or he's making him do all this stuff. And when that scene finally comes where, I feel it's corny now as an adult being like, it's so corny. But when I was a kid, when he's finally like showing me, he's like, why am I doing all this? And he starts blocking all these things. I was like, oh, that is awesome. Yeah, as a kid, I just thought that was the greatest thing. I was like, okay, so I need to learn how to do this kind of stuff, and who knows? It might influence kids out there to do their chores and do stuff and look at it that way, Who knows, maybe. But I'm sure if I were to sit here and think about it, because we didn't really plan this ahead of time, like we usually just babble like this.
We never do.
But if I was thought maybe a different scene, but
I
think I like that scene a lot. I really did like that one.
My favorite scene is always, when it comes to these kind of movies, it's always the end when he's at the tournament and they're showing all the different people fighting. Yeah. And I even, not even with like him necessarily fighting, because they didn't really show him a lot until the very
you're a
end.
Sucker for montages.
I love montages.
You like a montage.
It's a montage.
South Park.
But the right before his like big epic win, all of the other people doing karate, when they're showing like the people who aren't even in this movie, they're just doing little things. I love that, because that was like genuine karate moves. Like they were actually fighting, and they were actually doing a tournament.
Right.
And I loved that, because it kind of in a way it was kind of annoying, because Ralph Macchio's character, he was doing the karate moves, but he was not nearly as good as half the people that were before him, and yet they all lost.
But they weren't.
He was still.
They weren't actors, though.
I know they weren't the main people, but that was the thing. Is I do remember that from watching the movie. Is that
keep talking? Nothing's going on over here.
Pay attention to. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Not blow my nose at all.
No, but I liked seeing those things, and I think I was really into karate, and that's why I love that our son is in karate now, because I wanted to be in karate when I was a kid, and it wasn't a big deal when I was a kid for girls to be in it. Yeah, it was not a thing.
Now you see a lot more girls. I mean, look at his class; got a lot of girls in there.
Probably like 5 or 6.
At least 2 girls in his class. No, I'm just kidding.
There's like 5 or 6 girls.
I'd say even more than that. Yeah.
Just
his little thing, but as a whole thing, though, there's lots of girls. Yeah.
In the 4 to 6 range. There's at least 4 girls that come regularly that I see. But not a thing.
Well, cool. So let's we made this one a long one. So whenever you start drinking.
Oh yeah, it's all me. It's not that we had to stop and blow your nose like 1,000 times.
And I never babble on and on and on till the break of dawn and dawn and dawn. All right. So out of black belts, out of 1 to 5 black belts, how many black belts would you give it?
I'm giving it a 4.
4, really?
It's a good 80s movie that I love, and everything about it, I love it. I love it's like the coming of age story, and it's also him working his way up and getting the girl, and it's fun. It's a fun movie.
I would, if I had to rate it from when I was a kid, I would say a 4. If I'm saying more nowadays, a 3. So I'm gonna go right between a 3.5.
Why are you lowering it from being older? Just because it's not as...
I guess it doesn't, because it doesn't quite hold up the same. Like some movies will hold up for me even from the 80s still.
Okay.
That one doesn't hold up as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you're seeing flaws in it now, kind of thing?
Well, no, I mean, I guess so, yeah, which is, you know, or it's more corny or whatever, which is, I know. We're already getting past our time here. Let's not keep going. You're all getting mad. You're like, really?
We need to have a conversation about this.
Fine, 4 black belts.
Thank
I
you.
give it 4 black belts.
Agree with me.
Can we end this thing now that I gave it 4 black belts?
No. Let's talk about it more. Let's get some more facts. Let me scroll here.
You can do it like a nerd, dude.
Let's get some more facts. Oh, 10-point power sword. Oh, I got some extra points here.
All right. Anyways, let's finish this one up.
So yeah, watch Cobra Kai. That's the newest thing of Karate Kid continuation.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not into the old '80s movies,
and do a review on it, and then send us the link and let us know what
we'd
you
love to
think.
see
We'll
what
like to
you
see
think
your
about
review. How about that?
Yes.
Quit coming here and watching us all the time. We want to see you do your review. Come on, we do all this work and you don't even. I mean, what is this?
link it.
What is this? What? What'd you say, Lincoln?
I said maybe link it.
Oh.
Wow.
I thought I know what you're talking. Yeah.
What? Like you're about to fight me? What?
Yeah, Lincoln.
Yeah,
that makes no sense to the conversation.
Lincoln?
Oh.
Link it.
Oh, there's some guy linking it. Hey, Lincoln, make sure you link it, all right?
If there's a guy named Lincoln who's watching this, that would be so weird.
And he's on LinkedIn. And he's trying to link it
He's
to
trying to
this.
link it to us?
Oh my god.
He's got a lot going on.
We're getting deep, guys. All right, we love you. Keep up the spirit. Keep it up. Have a good one. Have fun. Subscribe. Share all that good stuff. All the things we say and everything. We'll see you next week or next day or tomorrow. 365 and 365. Bye.
Sounded like your throat.
Bye.
Bye.